everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I am sitting once again below Stone Star Crag up there. Don't know if you can see it. Anyway, I've been setting up the camera gear. I've just witnessed 4 BMW riders, all on GS's, stupidly overtaking a car just here. There's a sharp bend about 150 meters away. If anything had been coming the other way, I'd have been involved in a bit of a fucking nasty crash, which I don't want to be doing. It's a nice spring morning, not too warm, not too cold, and I'm out riding for 3 or 4 hours. The plan from here is to head down the road to Ulfa and then on toward the junction between the Hardknot Pass and the Rhinos Pass. I'm then taking the Rhinos Pass into Ambleside. It's like my commute, but not the scenic route, the extremely scenic route. I've got plenty of time. I don't need to be at work until 3 o'clock, and so I'm just out for a pleasant ride. Stop recording. Let's get moving. I've turned off the A595 at Dudden Bridge and I'm now heading up the valley here toward Ulfa. And then, as I said, on to Rhinos Pass. Apologies to Slobo Lobo. Once again, I'm wearing the Murgatroyd's squeaky helmet. Still having a lot of trouble breaking in that new helmet. I mean, I don't want to get into it too much, to be honest, because it was only ever, you'll remember if you saw my Peak District adventure, an interim measure. The Murgatroyd and I are going to be buying Bluetooth helmets quite soon. We're also going to get the new DJI Mic Mini. We're going to get 2 of them. Now that the Murgatroyd is enthused with motorcycle riding again, now that nice weather is coming, we will be going out together a lot more often. And I think it would add another lovely dimension to our films if the Murgatroyd is speaking while she's riding. Now, the Murgatroyd has only been riding for a short time. She did her CBT, oh, I don't know, June, possibly July last year. I know it was shortly before we went off on our big European holiday. So less than a year, and she didn't ride at all through the winter and has only recently started riding again. So she still has that newness to the operation of a motorcycle that slows everything else down. But she'll get there. She wants, and I'm quoting her directly here, to get this all cracked by the time we go on our week's break at Easter. And so there will be plenty of practice. As soon as she gets to the point where she can just use the controls without thinking too much about it, I'm sure she'll have a great deal to say to the microphone that she's going to have in her helmet. Personally, I can't wait. I mean, the Murgatroyd and I have some wonderful banter, and it would be delightful to be having that going on between our helmets. Don't do it cheap. Because one of the things about this valley, and indeed most mountainous regions in the Lake District, is that the sheep are basically free range. And so you never know when they're going to be in the road, and you also never know what they're going to do. So just be careful with that one. And there are, of course, cattle grids all over the place. Leaving aside the fact that I'm going to negotiate the Rhinos Pass, I mean, this road is just well worth doing in its own right. I don't think that it's got a number, so I can't tell you precisely what the road is, but one of my little tasks for this week when I'm not working, which is Monday through till Friday, I will be attempting to master the technique involved in having Google Maps in your videos showing the route that you're covering. In any event, it's the road to Alpha from Dudden Bridge on the A595, and it really is a lot of fun. Those who have watched all or most of my films might remember the Kestrel vs Rabbit film. Well, that happened a couple of miles down the road from here. I still look back at that one now and again and think, oh, that was a fabulous moment to be having the camera running. One of the things that I think I really need to do, because I miss, as we all do, so many moments that would have made a wonderful part of a video. We witness them when we're not filming. For example, a few days ago I was riding toward Coniston on the way to work and came round a corner, and there were about 100 sheep in the middle of the road being taken to another field, and I didn't have the camera turned on. As I mentioned just now, I've just seen 4 BMW GS riders absolutely terrorising a poor little Hyundai i10. The woman driving that must have been absolutely terrified, and these guys were just overtaking on a blind bend, probably trying to prove themselves to each other. This is one of the reasons I don't ride in big groups. Having said that, there's a friend of mine who frequents the bar that I'm currently working at, and he rides a motorcycle. He's got a Husqvarna 125, and he and I have been talking about going out for a ride together for some while now. It sounds, from what he said last night, that might be happening quite soon, so that will be interesting. But I do generally avoid riding with other motorcyclists that I don't know too well, and I mean, for my part, I've got absolutely nothing whatsoever to prove to anybody. Don't have a big ego, not a fast rider. I'd rather go slow and enjoy more of the scenery than try and impress me mates. Maybe that's just me, I'm just not macho enough. I don't know. Who knows? Riding with the Murgatroyd, however, is one of my favourite things at the moment. She's on a very steep learning curve and seems to be thoroughly enjoying it. This is where Kestrel v Rabbit happened, just around the bend here. Couldn't believe it. All of a sudden there was a Kestrel flying across above my head with a rabbit in its gob. It dropped the rabbit. The rabbit was dead. I went back to check. Anyway, you should check out that film. I was looking today at the Filmora Wondershare video on how to do more impressive things with texts. You know, the text that we have on the screen of our films. I don't think I phrased that particularly well, but I think you know what I mean. And there still is a lot to learn, but I'm learning it. Learning curves are good, especially when you're getting old. You've got to keep pushing yourself, doing new things, and continuing to grow and to learn.